Hi, welcome to Programming is Fun. My name is Anas, and in this video I am going to talk about what is object-oriented programming. So let's begin. So the OOP has four pillars. The first pillar of OOP is encapsulation, and the second pillar of OOP is abstraction, and the third pillar of OOP is inheritance, and the fourth pillar of OOP is polymorphism. So before I talk about these terms encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance and polymorphism, you should know that what is class and object. So, before I further elaborate these pillars, I want to give you an overview about some common terminologies used in object-oriented programming. So like class. In class, basically we write code which describes the capability of what an object of that class do. Now what is object? It is an instance of that class. Through object, we can call its member functions. Member functions are similar as functions, but we write them in a class. So what is object? Object is just an instance of the class. Means if we want to access any member function inside the class, we need an object for that. Now the first pillar of OOP is encapsulation. Now what is encapsulation? In encapsulation we decide the access specifiers and we decide that what we have to write inside the class, and then we decide which data would be accessible from the user side, which data will be accessible and which data we have to keep private from user. So let's have a look on this image. You're seeing here the class. This is a class, and in one side we have the data members, and usually we write the data members in a private access specifier because we don't want to give access to the user that they can access to the private data members. So we keep them private, and the methods are the member function. So we encapsulate them, means in a class we write data members and methods and encapsulate them. Means in one class we have data members of that class and the methods or the member functions of that class. So this is encapsulation. Encapsulation is just like a capsule. Encapsulation is nothing else. The next pillar of OOP is abstraction. Now what is abstraction? Abstraction is just an extension of encapsulation. So in abstraction we decide that which data shouldn't be visible to the user but visible to us, means a programmer or to coder. Abstraction has a lot of benefits, like you can make your application more secure by hiding data from everyone. So you can see here the encapsulation. So you perform a call operation from your phone. You just click on a green button. This is abstraction because you don't know what is happening behind that. You just dial the number and then click on the green button and your call will be transferred. So encapsulation is behind the abstraction. Abstraction is just you have seen that the green button, but you don't know what is happening behind the green button. Similarly, take another example. For example, if you're driving a car and you apply a sudden brake, your car speed decreases. You just apply the brake. You don't know what is the process behind the speed decreasing. So this is kind of abstraction. Means you don't know what is happening at the back end. You just have the front end. Now the next pillar, the very important pillar of object-oriented programming, is inheritance. We have various types of inheritance, like single level inheritance, multi-level inheritance, hybrid inheritance, and hierarchical inheritance. I will explain all these with a sample code in my upcoming videos, so don't need to be panic in inheritance. So let's look at this example. Class car has a fuel type, fuel capacity, apply brake, speed up, slow down. Similarly, class bus, class jeep. Every class has same functionalities. So it's going to take a long time to write each code, same code, for multiple times. So in object-oriented programming, we use a principle called DRY, don't repeat yourself. So instead of writing these codes each time, you should make a class like functionalities and put all these functions in that, and then inherit the base class or the super class. Base class is basically a parent class, and then inherit that class in a subclass, mean a child class. Means you make a class of properties and put all these functions in that and then inherit that class. So you will don't repeat yourself and your code will be attractive and it would not take much space. So inheritance has the ability to use the protected and the public member functions into its derived class or sub-derived class. The reusability is the core advantage of inheritance. Last but not the least pillar of OOP is polymorphism. Poly means many and morphism means shapes. Polymorphism means many shapes or many types. We use polymorphism when we have multiple classes but related to each other. In inheritance, we inherit attributes and the data members or the methods from another class. But in polymorphism, we use those methods to perform different tasks. For example, look at this example. We have a base class or the parent class shape, and we have the child class triangle, rectangle, and circle. In shape, we have a function draw. We also use that draw function which is in the shape class. We use in triangle, rectangle, and circle because the triangle class has its own properties, rectangle class has its own properties and shape, and the circle class has its own property and circle has its own shape. But they all use the same function. This is polymorphism. Similarly, let's look into another example. A base class named as animal, and we have a method here, make sound method. Now, derived class of animal could be any animal like dog, cat, cow, or any animal, but they all will implement make sound method with their specification and then overrides the make sound method. For example, dog has its own specification that dog does not make a sound like cat and cat does not make a sound like dog, but they override the make sound function. They override the make sound function. So this is polymorphism, means in base class or the parent class we have a member function make sound, and then we have override that make sound function in our child class. So this is polymorphism. Don't worry if you don't get anything in this video. I will make it clear for you in my upcoming videos with code examples. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. Share with your programming friends and please give me a like and subscribe for my upcoming videos. Until next time, take care. Bye.